Hi everyone. So today's agenda is how to extract something using ExtractDataraptor, creating a screen wherein you could add some text fields and all that and make changes in it. And then using a LoadDataraptor to update a particular record. So let's quickly begin. So before we begin anything, let me tell you about the development crash course that I'm going to conduct. Feel free to register if you like to. Here are the details. So let's start. The following are the things that we are going to do. First of all, we'll go to a contact record. From that contact record, we'll open a custom screen which would show that contact's account details pre-populated. Okay. Now in this screen, we will make changes into that pre-populated account details. And then finally, we are going to update that account record with the changes that we made. So let's start. So in order to fulfill the above operations, what we are going to do is, first of all, we'll create a flex card and pass the contact ID from that flex card. If you have not seen the video before this, you must go and check out how to pass a record ID from flex card to the Omniscript. So that's what we are going to do here. Then in the Omniscript, we are going to use 3 steps. First is the extract action, which will get the this contact account detail. Then we'll have step 2, which will have a screen with the fields which are pre-populated with the account that we received from this Dataraptor. And then finally, we are going to use a post action in our Omniscript, which will update the account record. So let's quickly start. Now I'm creating a flex card and I'm going to name it as pass contact ID. Now here, what am I going to do is, I won't do anything here for now. Let me create an Omniscript. I would name it as account operations. I'll activate this flex card for now. Now in the Omniscript, I'll just drag a text block here just to make sure that we are getting the ID. Sorry, contact ID is. Okay. Let me copy this name. And I'm going to save it. Activate. Now I come to my flex card and I'm going to call action. Let me deactivate. From here, the action type is going to be Omniscript. The name of the Omniscript is account operations. I'm going to pass one parameter. Here I would say the one that I copied here, right? The one that I named in my flex card. Would put that key. In value, I'll say record ID. And let's activate. Okay, now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to edit this contacts record page. And we are going to search for past contact ID, flex card. Here it is, past contact ID. Let me save it. Let's go back. Oh, it's blank. Okay, the reason is here it won't be con ID, it would be C __ con ID. Let's start this again. So now we have the contact ID. So our first step is done, right? Okay. Now the next step is creating an Omniscript, and within that we need to use the extract action. So let's go to the Omniscript. Here's my Omniscript. I can remove this step if I want. So because we know the contact ID is coming correctly, I'll just remove it. Now the first thing that we are going to do is extract Dataraptor extract action. Okay. And we have not yet created a Dataraptor. So let's first create a Dataraptor. Here we have our Dataraptor. I would name it as get account details. It's of type extract, save. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to extract the account details. So what object am I extracting? First of all, I'll extract the contact, right? Because we are passing the contact ID. And I would say con ID equals, we would call it contact ID. I'll copy this and keep. Extract Dataraptor. Input param. The name is this, okay? Contact ID. Once we get that contact, we want to get its corresponding account. So I would say ACC, whose ID is equals to this contact's account ID, right? So I would say con. And if I go to object manager, the name is account ID. The name of the account field is account ID. So this contact that I get, it's account ID I want to get. And I want to get an account whose ID is equal to this account ID, this contact's account ID. That's what it means. Now in output, what do we want? We want three things. Name of the account. I'll call it ACC name. Okay, I'm noting that and keeping. I will get the account number. This also I'll note down and keep. And what I want is annual revenue. So Okay. So now we are going to get these values. So let's see if our Dataraptor is working correctly. What are we passing as the input parameter? The contact ID, right? This we won't write because from here we are getting this, right? So we just need to pass the first thing, which is contact ID. In preview, I would say that contact ID. And let me open contact actually. This is my contact that I shall use. This is the ID. Okay, now let's execute. This is how we execute. And so it didn't give any results. So it means there is something wrong. Let's see what. I think we also will take the contact account ID. It should have given the other fields too. So the issue that we were facing is because I've written this as CON with small c, and this here is capital C, right? So we need to paste the exact name. Only then we can see all the fields. So I pasted the exact name. Now if I go and preview, I can see the account name is also reflecting. Okay. So I had deleted the output field. So I'll put the mapping again. I want to get account number. I'll map that in this field. And I want to get the annual revenue, which I'll put in this field. So now let's do preview. So now we got the corresponding account from this contact ID. We got its account number, annual revenue, and we got its name. So this is what we have done. Now we need to call this ExtractDataraptor from our Omniscript. So let's go to our Omniscript. And the name was account operations. So let's call get account details. We'll have to pass the parameter, right? So the parameter would be, here we have contact ID, right? That is coming from our flex card. And the input parameter that we have named in our ExtractDataraptor name was contact ID, right? I'll show you. See here, contact ID, and here also you can see contact ID, C small, I capital. So the same thing we'll copy here. Make sure it's case sensitive, so you always follow the proper naming. So this we have a parameter in our Dataraptor, and this is what we got from our flex card. So this is present in our Omniscript. So this step is done now. Okay. Now the next step is that we are going to get the account details and we are going to display the details that we receive in the fields. So let me create a step here. The first thing that I want to display is the account name. So I'll get that. Now here, if I want that whatever I received from my ExtractDataraptor needs to pre-populate here. What is the catch is whatever name that I had given in my Dataraptor, right? This is the output JSON name that I had given these things. So my field names that will be present in the screen should be same as these names. So these names that I have, I've copied here, right? Here is something that we have copied all of them. So what are we going to do is now I'm going here. This field that I've created, its name would be exact same. So let's get the account name first. I would name it as account name. Okay. The next field is account number. Again, its name would be the same as the one that we had in our ExtractDataraptor's output JSON path. Label, I can give anything. I'll say account number. And the third field that we have, we cannot take text because we have annual revenue. That's a currency field. If you take a text, it won't display the value. So that's why we have to take the currency again. Should be same as the Dataraptor's output JSON path. Okay, so now we have these three fields. Its name are same as the Dataraptor's output JSON path. Let me activate it. So we are done with this step as well. Let's go here and let's check now the moment it gets activated. So let's go to the contact record now. Refresh it. First, I'll show you the details in our account so you can tally it. The name is Acme1. Account number is 222 and annual revenue is 999. Okay. So you could see that it is pre-populated with this contact's account details, right? Now the third step is the moment I do, changes over here and I do next, it should get saved into my original account record. So let's do that. Now for that, what are we going to do is we are going to have post action. So I'll again say Dataraptor, but this time I have to use post action. So I'll choose a post Dataraptor. Okay. Now, before we do that, we need to have a Dataraptor, right? So let's go and create a Dataraptor. We'll name it as put account, or maybe update account details would be appropriate. So here the type would be load because we are going to load something. And let's save it. Okay. Now we have come to our load Dataraptor. So this time in extract, we were getting the record, and in load, we are loading the record with something, right? So here I'm going to say account because that's the object that I'm updating. Now in fields, input would be the field that I am giving, like which is passing the value, and out domain object field here would be the account objects field name. So let's say we are going to get the So these were the names of the fields in our so this was the name of the ExtractDataraptor's output JSON path also, and this same was the name of the field that we have created. So let me go and show you. If I go here, right, the field name is also account name. Now, if I want that from my data, from my Omniscript, it should directly get mapped with the LoadDataraptor. I'm going to give the same name, would be account name. And here, this name that you see here, these names are the exact name from our account object. So this is the mapping. Now this time we are getting this field from our screen and we are passing it in the LoadDataraptor. But there is one issue here. Now if I go here, this account name field is not directly present. It's present within the step. So what do I mean to say is, let's say I do preview for this. Okay. So you can see that these are directly present. However, if I write this, you could see that it's not directly present like these nodes, right? ACC name is present within step 1. So when I'm using the LoadDataraptor, what I have to do here is I have to say step 1 : account name, right? That's what it is. Capital S step 1 : account name. So that's what I've written. Now this is one alternative. Now if I do this, I have to again, do it for like step 1. And then we have account number. And it should get mapped to the account number field of account object. And so on. Same I have to do for annual revenue. But let's say if I don't want to do so much, writing and all that, typing, then what I could do is simply come here. You were on your Omniscript, so just click on preview. Once you click on preview, just enter all the fields. Okay. And then you will notice this. Next to this, you have this button, copy. So I would copy to clipboard. The moment I do that, this entire JSON structure that I have, right, that got copied inside the clipboard. Now I go here, click on fields in my LoadDataraptor, and there is this input JSON. So I'm going to paste it. Now, because of that, it is really smart enough. You will go here. And rather than having to type it manually, you will get the option. So see, instead of having to type step 1 : account name, it directly popped up with that name. Now I'm going to map it with name. Next is again number. I can map with account number. Next is annual revenue. Step 1 annual revenue. I'm going to map it with annual revenue. Okay. So this is how we map the fields. Now, there is one important thing. We also have to map the ID, right? Because we don't want a new account record to be created. We want the existing account record to get updated. So again here. So here we have not created a field for account ID, right? But when we were using the ExtractDataraptor, we were storing the contact's account ID in a variable called con account ID. So although you have not explicitly, although you have not explicitly created a field for this one, but still you could assume that this is present in your Omniscript, although you cannot see it. But when you try to pass it, right, it will get passed. So I could say that from this Dataraptor, I get the con account ID, which is present in my Omniscript. And when I call this Dataraptor, that con account ID could be passed here. So I could directly write here con account ID, and that has to get mapped to the ID field of account. And it would still work, although I don't have explicitly a field called con account ID, but still this is going to work. So this is about it. Now let me go to my Omniscript, and in the post one, I'm going to choose update account details and activate. Let's refresh. Going to click on action. Let's make it Acme 2 333 9000. Okay. I go here, refresh. So I can see the name has changed. The account number is changed to 333 and the annual revenue is changed to 9000. So here we complete our third requirement as well. So this was about it. If this video helped, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.